Hello everyone. Now in this lecture we will know about the concept that one is a functional dependencies. What exact the functional dependency under the relational database design. Now functional dependency. The functional dependency is a relationship that exists between two attributes. Then what is meant by the attributes? That one is simply we can say that the column name of the table. That is the attributes. It's simply we design one table, that one is done with some attribute like table contains two column. First is x and y, then x and y, these are the attributes of table. Then attributes, it typically exists between the primary key and non-key attribute with the table. That one simply exists between two attributes, and the relation between the two attributes are definitely it's between primary key and the non-key attribute within a table. The relationship that exists between two attributes, and the one attribute, that one is definitely a primary key, and the non-key attribute within a table. That's the functional dependency. Is a relation between the two attributes. One is the primary key and another is non-key attributes. Then x and y, consider x is the roll number, and y is the name, right? Then that one is a roll number is a key attribute. That's why we can say that x is depend on we can say x have relation with the y. That is the relationship between these two attributes. And the functional dependency says that the left side of functional dependency is known as determinant, and the right side of the production is known as a dependent. Means if we say that y is as a name is dependent, and x is the determinant. Which one is determine the y? Means if we say that roll number 1 is determined, the roll number 1 is determined, that the student name is Rohan. That's why the x is a determinant and the y is a dependent on that determinant. That is simply the concept. That one is functional dependency. For example, assume we have an employee table with the attribute employee ID, name and address. Employee ID attribute can be uniquely identified. Means employee ID is the primary key. Name attribute of the employee ID attribute is uniquely identify the employee name attribute of an employee table, because if we know employee ID, we can tell the employee name. Then functional dependency can be written as employee ID, and is a symbol of a functional dependency as an employee name. Then employee ID is a determinant and employee name is a dependent. We can say that employee name is functionally depend on employee ID. That is simply the explanation. Now type of functional dependency. Functional dependency have two types. That one is a trivial functional dependency and second one is non-trivial functional dependency. Trivial functional dependency, A is a functional dependent or the A have a relation with the B. That one is a functional dependency, has a trivial functional dependency. If what exact the condition when we say that this relation is the trivial functional dependency if B is not subset of A. In the relation. In this relation, B is not a subset of A. The following dependencies also are also trivial, like A, B, because of A is again a subset of A. That's why we can say that this relation is a trivial functional dependency, because of this A is a subset of this A. or we will take the another example. Consider the table with the two column employee ID and employee name. Employee ID, employee name, that one is again a relation with the employee ID, is a trivial function dependency, because of employee ID is a subset of this dependence. It's a determinant. These are the two are the determinant. This one is a dependent, and this theory says that the relation or the functional dependency is a trivial functional dependency when dependent is the subset of the determinant. That one is simply the situation or the rule. Employee ID is again a subset of this determinant. That's why this condition is true, and we can say that this relation is a trivial functional dependency. Now employee ID is a subset of employee ID and employee name. That one is simply the explanation. Also employee ID and employee ID and the employee name are the trivial dependents to each other. That is simply the example of the trivial function dependency. Now the second type, that one is non-trivial functional dependency. A and B has a non-trivial functional dependency if B is not a subset of A. Is a reverse of trivial functional dependency. If you show the relation, then the B dependent is not a subset of A, then that type of a relation we can say that non-trivial functional dependency. That one is the relation simply when A intersection B is null. We can say that the common between the A and B is null, then is called the complete non-trivial dependency. Here is a A intersection B is not a null. That one is simply the condition. ID and name is a relation. Then ID is a determinant and name is a dependent. Then name is not a subset of this determinant. That's why we can say that this relation shows that non-trivial functional dependency. These are the some concept which one is very important at the time of normalization, when we apply the different type of normalization rule like a 1NF, 2NF, 3NF or BCNF. Okay, this is simply the explanation about the functional dependency with the functional dependency type. That one is a trivial and non-trivial. Thank you.